everybody, to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show featuring Dr. Carolyn Dean. Join Dr. Dean for the next 2 hours along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty. Join Dr. Dean as she shares with us her vast range of experience, knowledge, talent, and wisdom. Phone lines are now open, and we'll be taking your calls from around the world and here in the USA.
Welcome everyone to Dr. Carolyn Dean live here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting humankind with universal love, or as I like to say, uniting Dr. Carolyn Dean with the whole wide world. And boy, does the world need it now more than ever. And today we're going to be talking about happy, bright, and calm nutrition for your emotions, featuring the wisdom of Dr. Carolyn Dean, of course, the author of the #1 bestseller, The Magnesium Miracle. And Dr. Dean herself being an expert in positive emotions because she is a veritable fountain of youthful joy and hilariousness at all time, always laughing, always carrying on, always doing silly things, and eternally optimistic about everything. And why not? Because she's got the world by the tail. She understands medicine. She understands health, vitality, well-being. She understands her own eternalness and supernalness, and she's here to share it with you. I'm Ginny Sanders. I'll be your co-host tonight, along with Dr. Dean for 2 hours, and we're going to have just the greatest time, and we always do. We're live on YouTube. You can stream with us right now. You can tune into the radio show through the chat line here at Dream Vision 7. You can call in on your phone and talk to Dr. Dean, 646-558-8657, and then the long trailing ID number that comes after that. And you can hang out with us for the next 2 hours, and maybe we've already gotten your email and your important question that you'd like Dr. Dean to answer this evening. But we are going to be talking about happy, bright, and calm nutrition for your emotions. And a lot of people don't think you need to eat for your emotions, but you really do. And you want to be taking care of your vitality and your well-being and your mind today, because we are inundated with a little bit of silliness on the face of this earth, and we've got to get through it all in one piece and all together now. So that is what we're going to be doing. Now, before I bring Dr. Dean on, I am going to, and she is a fantastic doctor, I'm just saying, and she knows a lot of good things, and she's also a naturopath, an herbalist, an acupuncturist. She's an incredible gardener and a snappy dancer. She definitely knows how to raise orchids. I've been the recipient of some of her beautiful orchids, and I think she's pretty much good at just about everything, but one thing she cannot do is she can't give medical advice, and it's just so silly because she's a doctor, but she's not allowed to. So according to the FDA, that's a big no-no. So she will not give medical advice on her show tonight, but she will tell you what she would do if she were in your shoes, were you to ask her something of that nature. And sometimes I pop in and say things like what I would do if I were in your shoes, but it's very rare, mostly because I'm not a doctor. But sometimes I have experiences, vast experiences that I will share over the last 10 years of hanging out with our very own Dr. Dean. So we bring her on without any further ado, and we say welcome.
The children are so excited. Oh my gosh, that's so
They're
funny.
Storming the stage, Carolyn. They're just rushing into the concert venue.
And you know what they're interested in? They're interested in our Flora refresh spray. They totally are.
Yeah,
oh my gosh. We have it up on the website now. Flora refresh spray. And this is what Brian and Lisa's email said today. Your skin serves as a first line protective barrier against the outside world. And the constant use of alcohol-based hand sanitizers can leave it feeling dry and cracked, while also disturbing your natural skin flora. Flora Refresh is a refreshing alternative to alcohol-based hand sanitizers. We call it a hand purifier. And our Flora Refresh smells great. It's got hibiscus and lemon in it. It soothes the skin because it's got Pico Silver, Remag, and Pico Zinc and aloe in it. So it's formulated with our natural antibacterial, antiviral minerals from RNA Reset. You spray it on your skin. You use it as an all-purpose surface refresher for your desk, door handles, kitchen, etc., etc. Jenny's going to use it as a deodorant. I will too. People will spray it into their shoes for stinkiness, etc. It's going to happen. Seriously. I mean, I had the experience where I was going to be driving with someone who was suffering either cold symptoms or spike protein symptoms from vaccination. And what can you do there? You spray the car. You spray inside the car. You spray your face. If they'll let you, you spray their face. You just spray, spray, spray.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the scent, the very mild floral scent, just lets you know that you're inhaling this awesomeness for one thing, but also it's so calming. I mean, these herbs are calming herbs, and I guess that's why they're in there, because when you're using this type of formula, this type of product, you're using it for scary reasons. Let's just not beat around the bush. Why else are we spraying these things all over creation? So you want to do it kind of calm and, relaxed, etc. And, that we flow right into the blog of today, and happy, bright, and calm nutrition for your emotions. Now, this seems a little too giddy for what you're going through. I definitely think I want to dial it back just a little bit because of all that's happening, all the stress out there. We're talking about stress here. We're talking about the way stress does affect your emotions. So I think I'll take Ginny up on her advice, which she often gives me, and say the affirmation on the small property. And maybe Ginny every week will do this, because what's going on out there, what's happening to friends and relatives, we all know people who are being affected by Afghanistan. We know the incredible stress of that. We know we want to stay calm and we want to stay strong for what's going on. And this affirmation will help with all that, because it does focus on our body, on our health, and it will help people stay balanced. And the words of a small property are, I was a small property ravaged by a storm. The fine weather has returned. The forest and the river have become calm. The house is vibrant and shines in the sun. And above all, the field is returning to its order, health, and beauty. Thank you, my diseased and depleted organs, for I know you have done all this to save my whole being. And thanks to myself for doing my healing. And that's it, just those few words. And you repeat this, the total biology people from whom I got this affirmation, they say to repeat it 10 times, 3 times a day. And I mean, you could repeat it as many times as you like. I've memorized it. I say it before I fall asleep. It's like a little sleep meditation. There's also a general affirmation that says, I am filled with love and understanding. So just saying that, I'm filled with love and understanding. And also with the Bach flower remedies for emotional balance, there's the link breaker, and that's walnut, the flowers of a walnut tree. They're used to break the links that hinder. The quote is, I break all links that hinder my growth. So that's important as well, because we can trap ourselves in previous stressful experiences and not grow. Our growth is hindered when we hook ourselves to past negative experiences. And with the small property, I mean, when you say these words, Ginny will probably put them on the chat. They're probably in, gosh, I don't know. I've probably got them in some of the ebooks, but you can get it from customer service or on the chat, as I said. And I was a small property, so that could be our body or our physical body and those around us. The fine weather has returned. You have to figure out, well, the forest and the river, what part of me or my environment is that? Am I just the house, which is now vibrant and shines in the sun, and the field? I mean, I think of the intestinal environment as being a field. And this business about thanking my diseased and depleted organs, it's often these areas that are triggered under stress that we pay attention to. And in paying attention to diseased and depleted organs and taking care of them, we help the whole body. And that's what we are interested in here at RNA Reset is giving the building blocks for the cells that replete our organs, replete our bodies so that we can handle the stress. And then the last line, thanks to myself for doing my healing. Seriously, it is entirely up to you. That's why I never, I kind of back away when people, give me praise and tell me I saved their lives. No, I do not save lives. I give information and you do your healing. First of all, that makes you responsible for your own healing. If I was responsible for your healing, then I'm responsible for you for the rest of your life. And then what happens when something goes wrong? You're going to blame me? No, you take responsibility for your wonderful healing, and you take responsibility for doing the things that will help your healing. And in these times now, Ginny and I were talking earlier today, and she's saying, yeah, she's just telling everybody to double up, just double up on everything, because you never know when you're going to get in a car with someone who has a cold or has been vaccinated and is shedding spike protein. You just don't know. And it's not that I personally fear those things, because I take a lot of my own formulas, that's for sure, and I know I'm safe and protected. And it's just that sometimes, I know when someone said to me they'd gotten vaccinated, and it was a health professional, and I was going to be in their office for 50 minutes, and it was a bit of a shock to me because I know about the shedding of spike proteins, but I dealt with it, but at the same time I had that little what they call frisson or whatever, little shock of them telling me this and wondering, oh my goodness, am I going to blah, blah, blah. And I know that happens to people when they may be told that, oh, this could be cancer, you get a shock. Or you hear about a loved one, you get a shock. And it's these shocks that we'll talk about in the blog today, the stress shocks that people get. But first of all, let me jump to a testimonial that just came in today. It's perfect timing for today's blog. Gary says, I was recently in a very, very stressful situation that had in the past led to severe panic attacks and dangerously high blood pressure. That would be around 220 over 120. Now, you know that 120 over 80 is normal. So Gary was almost double that. So he said, this time I've been taking Remag for almost 2 years, as well as GABA and 5-HTP. I suffered zero anxiety this time. What a test. I'm sold on Remag. Also, I've suffered neither heart arrhythmia nor leg cramps for over a year, although I do have to increase my dosage in the heat of summer due to sweating. Last point on Remag. For years, my doctors have diagnosed me with hypertension. My blood pressure is high at the doctor's office. It's white coat hypertension, I tell them. My blood pressure is normal at home. In the doctor's office, I have an adrenaline rush, which results in the high blood pressure. Since I've been using Remag, my blood pressure is the lowest it's ever been at the doctor's office. We'll see in the near future if I can get it to be totally normal there as well as here at home. What can I tell you? What I can tell you is Remag works wonders for me and for my clients too. So that's wonderful. Now, I don't know if Gary's listening. This wasn't a question for the radio show, but hopefully Gary's also taking his Pico Potassium and his Realign. All the nutrients that we have will support the nervous system. So let me stop there. I've said a lot and see if Ginny wants to interject anything before I say the words of the blog. Ginny?
I just want to say that that is an amazing testimonial because it is very, very difficult to get anxiety under control. And so we don't want to diminish or gloss over that. Not that you did, but I really want to bring that out. And people, even if you are talking to friends and they feel hyped up or concerned or whatever, definitely Remag is the way to go. It is a just natural, it smooths things out emotionally. So I just wanted to highlight that. Okay. Yes. Yay.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, tell your friends about Remag. Absolutely. Because what do you see on anxiety medication inserts, what they stuff into box of Ativan or some sort of drug, anti-anxiety drug, Xanax. They stuff something in that has a font size of like 8, so you can't even read it. They actually say anti-anxiety medication should only be taken short term. They say that about insomnia medications as well, because they know they're addictive. Most of them are benzodiazepines, and you'll get addicted to them. And what does short term mean in medical lingo? 2 weeks. So you think about your friends who are, been taking their Xanax, Ativan for years and years. So it's and when you tell your friends, oh, take Remag instead, it's not like trading off one for another. These benzodiazepines, you have to wean off them very gradually, very slowly over a long period of time. So it is tricky to get off them. It's very easy to get on them. So the blog, Nutrition for Your Emotions. Stress is a response to circumstances which force a person to act quickly, change, or make some adjustment to keep things in balance. This circumstance which forces a person to act is called a stressor. Stress is also defined as intense feelings created by the stimulus of certain events. When a person is stressed, his or her body automatically jumps into an action, which is called a fight or flight. And that action is stimulated by adrenaline. So stress is further defined as an emotional and physical provocation caused by pressure from a given situation. The good news is that everybody faces stress to a certain extent, and it is normal to be stressed since we are living in a world full of challenges. Stress causes our bodies to respond quickly and automatically jump into a defensive mode. It's quite normal to fight the stressor or try to ignore it. When we are stressed, our bodies immediately respond by telling our nervous system and stress hormones that it's time to act. In a threatening situation, our hypothalamus informs the adrenal glands to produce adrenaline and cortisol and release them into the bloodstream. Adrenaline pumps you up, but experiments using IV adrenaline shows that it decreases magnesium as well as calcium, potassium, and sodium, proving that when you are in a revved up state and burning adrenaline, you are also burning off magnesium. Now that's very important. It's important too that they said it burns off calcium, potassium, and sodium. We talk about the adrenals requiring sodium and magnesium. They also require potassium and calcium. Calcium, I lowball it because people are often getting too much calcium because so much of our foods are fortified with calcium. And the amount of calcium we need a day may only be about 600 milligrams, which we can often get in our diet. Just continuing on, there are more than a dozen major metabolic processes that are affected by bursts of adrenaline, including heart rate, blood pressure, blood vessel constriction, contraction of all muscles, including the heart. Thus, we feel palpitations, shortness of breath, and we may experience high blood pressure. So Gary experienced all that when I mentioned that in his testimonial. All these symptoms are the body's reaction to stress. In order to fight or flee, our blood vessels open wide, thus allowing more blood flow to the muscles, and the stored glucose from the liver pours into the bloodstream for extra energy. Of course, each of these functions uses up extra vitamins and minerals. Anxiety can occur as a result of the outpouring of adrenaline. It can also be created when fear is present. Fear stemming from predictable or unpredictable situations, and they may be real or imaginary. You can imagine a fear. You can build it up in your mind and your heart starts racing. Anxiety is a common human emotion, part and parcel of our everyday life. Anxiety is about worries, concerns, nervousness, and stress. In fact, to feel anxious occasionally is fine because it prepares us to be ready for actual challenges. But persistent and prolonged stress that creates anxiety is extremely draining, especially when a doctor tries to treat it with medication instead of magnesium and stress counseling. So the rest, Ginny's just saying to tune into the show, read my book, Magnesium Miracle. And what is the treatment? I mean, we've mentioned that. I'll go over a few blog questions and testimonials, but the treatment begins with REMAG. Flora Refresh Now, I'd say, is an anxiety formula in that it will make you feel safe in reality and also in your mind, that you're living in a little purified, little mist bubble. So Ginny, tell me what you think while I go over to the window and shut it from the noise.
Yes, I was thinking when it comes to things that I know that have helped me over the years, with anxiety and things like that, because I had it. The number one, definitely remag. Number two, definitely realign. I think that it's really the omegas have had an incredible calming effect. I think omegas probably do good things, don't they, Carolyn?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's the EPA, DHA that actually are coating the is it coating the cells in that they're part of cell membranes. And when it comes to nerve cells, they create very healthy nerve cells and, neurons in the brain. So it's absolutely necessary. What they think about ADHD and hyperactivity and all is kids not having the proper amount of omega-3 fatty acids coating their nervous system, which leads to these leaky cells and the irritability and the hyperactivity. I mean, there's a definite correlation.
Nice. Yeah, so I think, and the other thing that is just so funny to me that really did kind of help, and I think it was because, we did that webinar, I think it was 2019, called Low Level Infections. Remember that one?
I think so.
And Pico Silver. I think Pico Silver just, takes care of all the little cruddy, weird things that kind of short circuit your system and can drag you down emotionally. I remember when we first got Pico Silver and I started taking that stuff, I felt like I was, not high, but like, a false something, but high happy, high emotions, for like 3 weeks. It was fantastic. So I think Pico Silver is also amazing.
Okay, well that's because it's as you say, it gets rid of the crud, but it's also going to be addressing yeast overgrowth. And it is yeast overgrowth with the 178 different yeast toxins that will irritate the nervous system, the brain, causing brain fog and fatigue and irritability. And when people have those symptoms kind of out of the blue, seemingly for no reason, it can be very frustrating. And people look for a reason. They think, is my partner bugging me enough that I'm getting this way? They'll blame this, that, or the other thing, where it's something internal that's going on. So yeah, Pico Silver is going to do a job for us. So you've got Remag, Realign, because it has the B vitamins and food-based and methylated, but it's also got the 2 amino acids that the methionine one is a precursor to glutathione. The taurine helps calm the heart, and the 2 of them are sulfur-based amino acids, and that sulfur goes to the liver for the sulfation detox pathways. The methionine is methylated, and 4 of our B vitamins are methylated, and those methyl groups go to the liver for the methyl detox pathways, because toxicity is going to cause irritability as well. The omega-3s you've talked about, Pico Silver. What else?
That's what I mean. I think that, to me, that's, and then what about vitamin D? Because I think vitamin D is another calming factor, right?
Yeah, that's true. Vitamin D, I mean, the more I read about it, the more amazed I am. It has cell signaling functions, whatever that means. It works at a genetic level. It's a fat soluble vitamin, so it is going to be part of the cell membranes. And didn't you find Pico Zinc was good for you as well? What was your experience with Pico Zinc?
Yeah, digestively, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. So Pico Zinc because if your digestion is off, what's happening in the intestines, 90% of the serotonin in the body is made in the intestine. Serotonin is the feel-good neurotransmitter. And also then we'll have to put in Flora Revive, which is our probiotic and antifungal for yeast overgrowth and balancing the gut. The gut is the first line of defense. And if you've got a leaky gut due to yeast overgrowth, then the body is going to absorb all these toxins and irritants. So we could make a case for all our nutrients. You think of hypothyroidism. People who have low thyroid, they can be depressed and fatigued. And what do we use for hypothyroid is Remite. It's a multiple mineral, but somehow it's become our go-to for thyroid because 9 of the 12 minerals in Remite support thyroid hormone production. If you don't have those 9 minerals, you don't get your thyroid hormones produced. And you have to depend on thyroid hormone replacement when your thyroid finally punks out. So yeah, the whole kit of our RNA reset formulas is going to be helpful. And this is where customer service can really work with our customers to fine tune what they're taking, because people will often say, well, I'm taking Remag, it's really helped me, but there's still, a little this and a little that. And it's like, well, Remag can't do it all. We do have to pull in the others. So Ginny, shall I do there's only one blog question, but then I have a number of anxiety type testimonials that I could go through.
Yes, I will ask you some question. Glenda off the chat line says, will you please ask Dr. Carolyn what she can say about melatonin at night? I have been taking Remag and Remite, but have been dealing with very high stress. So what do you think about melatonin for stress?
Well, it depends on how much you're taking of the Remag, Remite. Melatonin, I mean, that's most people use that for sleep. I don't hear about it for stress.
Oh, maybe I'm reading it the wrong way. She's saying at night she can't sleep. So yes, I read it the wrong way. Yeah, so at night she can't sleep, so taking melatonin at night to get some sleep.
And that's fine. That's fine. I mean, again, I don't know how much Remag Linda's taking, because sometimes extra Remag will help as well, unless, it's promoting the laxative effect. But melatonin is safe. It's supportive of the breast health, actually. I started taking melatonin back in the day when I saw the studies on melatonin and breast health. You can look that up. But it would be what's Linda taking through the whole day. If she, how's the vitamin D looking? How's the omega-3s? If it's stress that's draining all the nutrients, then we have to sort of bump up all the nutrients and not, look for a quote drugged sleep. Not that melatonin is a drug, but let's look at the whole picture and support everything. That's what I'd say.
Okay, very good. Outstanding. Thank you. And also eMusic typed in and said Pico Zinc and Pico Potassium helped end my insomnia. So there's the body keeping you up at night because it doesn't have what it needs to do its basic jobs, right?
Yeah. So there you go, Linda. The zinc and the potassium could be helpful to you. So it's to experiment. It's to have all the formulas lined up. And I mean, if you know anything about muscle testing, that would be very helpful to just get an idea of what the body wants. It's called, what I do is something called O-ring muscle testing. And it's just making a circle between your thumb and your pointer finger, usually on your non-dominant hand. So I'm right-handed. So on my left hand, I put my tip of my thumb, and the tip of my pointer finger together and hold that tight. Then I take the pointer finger of my right hand and try to open up that the area between your thumb and your finger. And you ask yourself questions. And what I do is I'm saying, can I test? Can I use this to test? And give me a yes or give me a no. A yes would be tight, a no would be loose. So over the years, I mean, in the beginning when I started this, it's kind of a personal way of testing compared to when you go to a chiropractor or naturopath and they do an arm test. You know, you hold your arm out and they try to push down when they ask a question. So it's a way of testing yourself, muscle test. So in the beginning, I thought, oh, this is silly. But after a while, when I'd ask a question of myself, I'd hear the answer in my head before my finger would give me the same answer. So it's a way of asking yourself questions, if there is such a thing as a subconscious or an all-knowing, just asking your all-knowing if this is good or if you need more of this or whatever. And I'll leave it at that, but you can Google O-ring muscle testing just to see the technique. Have we ever talked about that before, Ginny?
I don't think so. So I was just sitting here thinking, here is another new thing. Things that I learned from Carolyn all the time. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to do it. I'm like, okay, what am I going to test for? So I just said, I love my dogs. And my fingers would not break the connection. Is that what you're trying to say? That they don't break the connection?
Yeah. That's right. Yes. A yes would be that you can't break that connection. So yes, there's Ginny using, testing to see if it works. And, you know, she loves her dogs almost more than Greg. So she got a positive there.
That's terrible. I do not. Everybody says that though, but it's simply not true. Okay. All right. Well, that's very cool. O-ring testing. Now, what Belinda said was, I will look at the other nutrients. I do the muscle testing, and the sway test works the best for me. So now I'll have to learn what that is. And Belinda also said she takes 3 to 4 teaspoons of Remag a day, but the nights are still hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think what I would do is take the 3 teaspoons during the day and a whole teaspoon at night and see if that helped. But I mean, what we've heard from people, for example, in the Magnesium Miracle book, I have this story testimonial. One of our customers said, a very special friend of ours was going through a very bad patch earlier this year. A relative who she was extremely close to was suffering with liver failure. Another relative who has prostate cancer had just had a test showing a rise in the PSA. My friend said she was suffering from dreadful stress and feeling constantly anxious and a tight pain constantly around her chest. I suggest maybe it would be good to try some of the Remag. I think she thought it would be a waste as it wouldn't change the situation. Fortunately, she did try it, and literally a few days later, she started feeling better. Her chest pains went away, as did her nightly cramps, and the constant feeling of tension lessened to such a degree she felt she could cope once more. So that can happen. I know it's with Belinda, it's different. She's already on the supplements, but maybe she could talk to someone in customer service to find out what she could be missing in the formulas and the amounts. So that's what I would suggest. And what's this? Oh, the question that did come in was someone who's saying, I'm from the UK. After reading Dr. Carolyn's wonderful book, I'm hoping to start Remag today to alleviate my anxiety, panic attacks, muscle twitches, and cramps, which seem to have started following a period of high stress a month ago. I'm on thyroid medication for an underactive thyroid. I am making changes to my diet and drinking more water with Himalayan salt added. I'm anxious to proceed slowly with the dosage as my stomach has not agreed with other magnesium supplements and wondered what you'd suggest. So we sent the recommendations, but this is someone who with a thyroid situation, we have to make sure they're taking the Remite and probably the B vitamins and the Realign as well. And with the muscle twitches and cramps, perhaps a pico potassium. So it's getting all these nutrients in balance that's important. Ginny, now I just have a few testimonials. Actually, I took them out of the Magnesium Miracle book. So we can go to the chat or the phones now and do those later if you'd like.
Okay, wonderful. I do want to say we do have people holding, so we will start taking phone calls, and that's wonderful. And if you did want to talk to Dr. Dean tonight and you're not on the phone yet, you can call the number, which is 646-558-8657. And then you have to put in the ID number, which is 8836953587. And that is on our YouTube channel and also on the radio show channel itself. And it's in all of our emails. And we think Brian even has our emails put up, so you can just hit click and it'll dial it for you. That's the way I think it's working now. So we're going to take phone calls. Now, here's the other thing, Carolyn, I just want to make sure we answer Nara's question before we go to the phone. She says, I have a dental pocket in my front upper teeth. Why couldn't Pico Silver be put into these pockets with a syringe rather than pulling the gum back and scraping the bone? Ooh, that sounds terrible. I'm sorry, Nara, I haven't had that happen. That sounds awful. And then eMusic said, swishing Pico Silver in my mouth took care of the dental pocket that I had. And then she said, I started swishing the Pico Silver about a week ago. Thank you for your comment. So Carolyn, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I had to have a root, did I have a root canal? I guess it was a root canal. I asked my endodontist to syringe in Pico Silver into the base. So, I mean, they can do that if they're a bit open-minded. Or, I mean, a person themselves, I don't think you could get a syringe and not use the needle part and squirt in an area, but then you can't really hold up the gum flap to do that. But swishing it and holding it is definitely a possibility. After my root canal, I did 50-50 Pico Silver and Remag. Remag for the inflammation of the work that was done, and the Pico Silver for any infection. So absolutely, why not use Pico Silver?
Yes,
Sure.
absolutely. Now, here's something, Carolyn, I have to say about Pico Silver. Okay, you know how we always tell people to nebulize Pico Silver?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know how you get those little handheld nebulizers from Amazon?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had to fly out to go visit some people, and we were gone for about 4 days. And because we were on a plane and because we were with all kinds of people, I took the Pico Silver nebulizer with me, and I just snorted that thing the whole time we were gone, right? Every 5 seconds, I was misting myself and breathing that into my lungs.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so here's something wild. I had this kind of whooshing sound in my ear, whoosh, whoosh, that would come and go, and it's totally gone.
Oh.
And then I was talking to my friend Deborah, and she's had some sinus problems. And I said, girl, you got to nebulize this Pico Silver. Just don't take it nebulize it and pull the silver ions into your lungs and nose. So
Uh-huh.
she did. And the next thing that happened, her ears released completely, and she does not have any more pounding or stuffiness in her ears.
Uh-huh. Wow.
So what is going on with Pico Silver that when you're breathing it into your lungs, that it's clearing up your ears?
Oh, everything is, I mean, you look at right now, go to anatomy of the face,
Okay.
anatomy of the face. And it had all these sinuses are created in your, under your eyes and your cheekbones. There's the eustachian tube between the back of your throat and your ears. Everything is interconnected.
Mm.
That when
Oh,
if
wow.
you snort, um, I put some saline in with my Pico Silver because sometimes I think with just the straight Pico Silver, it kind of goes right to my head and gives me a little uh, ice headache for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just going through all these sinuses.
Mm.
Everything is interconnected. So this is why people who have yeast overgrowth, they can have itchy sinuses, itchy tongue, itchy throat, itchy ears, itchy eyes.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's all yeast in all the passageways and stuff like that.
Yeah, in the mucous membranes. And those areas, especially when you talk about sinus infections, they're just so hard to treat because the sinuses, I'm just spelling sinuses, the sinuses anatomy or sinus anatomy. Those sinuses are lined with mucous membranes. And when they're plugged up, they're just thick with mucus. And you can't get any blood circulation in there.
Mm.
Yet doctors will give these tremendous doses of antibiotics
Mm.
that won't get anywhere but just cause yeast overgrowth.
Mm.
Whereas snort, or as you're saying, nebulizing is much more efficient. Then they will make their way through all that mess. I mean, the anatomy of the nasal sinuses is crazy. You've got these two cavities above your eyebrows and a line extending between your eyes on either side of your nose, and these great big openings under your eye and on either side of your nose. It's crazy.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's amazing. Well, I say everybody make sure you got your Pico Silver nebulizer. I think that is one of the most amazing things we have. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it just instantly deals with so many things,
Mm-hmm.
and it clears stuff up. That stuff is really incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. And what Thomas Tom Levy, he's big on hydrogen peroxide, nebulizing that, and yes, that's very good. It kills things, but I think Pico Silver has so many other attributes. I rather talk about Pico Silver. But if people, if people get in touch with us, they don't have their Pico Silver yet, they can go and get 3% hydrogen peroxide. And that I would dilute 50-50 with saline, normal saline. And to find a good normal saline, I tell people to get contact lens saline solution, but without preservatives. Because otherwise they've got all kinds of crazy. They've even got mercury preservatives, or used to have mercury preservatives in contact lens solution years ago. Can you believe it? Thimerosal. If you see, if your contact lens solution has thimerosal in it, you're putting mercury in your eyes.
Jeez, oh my goodness gracious.
I know.
Oh, oh my
I know.
gosh. That's crazy. All right. Nara asked, do you mix the saline solution and Pico Silver 1-to-1?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Excellent. Yes, I think hydrogen peroxide and all those other things, but also it makes me think about Pico Silver is creating the stem cells. I mean, how amazing is that?
Oh, I know that just makes me giddy thinking about us creating naive, native stem cells that then they'll go to an area that the body thinks needs help. We don't force it, but otherwise, when they're, I mean, stem cells, they're using fetal stem cells usually, and that's, pretty immoral in the first place. And what the stem cell people say is, yeah, it helps so many things, but 3 months later, people are back to square one because they don't take care of themselves. They don't have the nutrients. They're not, they just think they can go back to their raw lives. So yeah, we're really ahead of the game with Pico Silver.
Wow. All righty. Well, let's take some phone calls this evening. We'll take your calls, and the way it works is I will call out your area code, for example, area code 251. And then when I do, you'll see a blue button appear on your screen. You can either click the blue button or hit *6 and come on into the call, give us your name and let us know your question or comment. So we'll start with area code 251. Either hit the blue button or *6 to unmute your phone and come on in. Area code 251. Hello, hello. *6 or hit the blue button.
So the blue button is people who are on their computers.
Yes, I hit it. And well, it would either go to their phone or it's going to go to their computer screen, and they'll see it. It'll say the host is asking to unmute you, and then they should click that blue button, or they should hit *6, same thing. Okay, 251 might have stepped away. So let me try area code 347, which I think is the great state of New York. Area code 347. There you are. Hello, hello. Welcome.
Hi. I'm so glad I got on to talk to you, Dr. Dean. My name is Michelle Page. I wrote to you about my mother who died recently in a very traumatic way. She had a stomach flu, and my dad called the ambulance, who brought her to the hospital, and the hospital, she wasn't COVID positive, but they put her with a COVID patient, roommate, and then she got COVID.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And we tried to get her out. I literally had to get I had to get a lawyer to help us get her out.
Wow. How horrible.
And she got out, but she died because they gave her so much Haldol, and they gave her so much Haldol and heparin. And in those 6 days she was in the hospital, we were trying to get her ivermectin, and we were trying to, and high doses of vitamin C, but they wouldn't give her any of that.
Right. Wow.
And
we're coming up to, sorry to interrupt. We only have a couple minutes to the top of the hour.
Sorry.
We'll bring you over to the other side. But
so during that period, so she died. And during that period, though, I was not eating or drinking or sleeping. I was just going, 100% to save mom. And I have now, I got so sick from it, from not eating or sleeping or drinking, that I had a pounding heartbeat and a high blood pressure. My pressure was like 160, 170, 180 over 90. And I couldn't stop it. And I've been taking your Remag, And so I just started taking more of it. And I've literally gone up to like 5 cups a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was taking some cheese and milk because I'm a big dairy drinker. My whole family is. And I think I had huge amounts of salt and huge amounts of calcium building up. And I don't have a thyroid because I had thyroid cancer 4 years ago. They took out my thyroid. It was encapsulated so that I didn't even have to do radiation or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so today I'm taking I've now my 5th glass of Remag. I want to know what else I should be doing. I have loose stools from yesterday. I'm feeling much better in that I'm controlling it much better now. I'm not like like I the other day I was told by a nutritionist not to take any salt, any sugar, any salt, any sugar, any oxalates, anything with oxalates in it. My husband had made me a cheeseburger, and I thought I was going to die. This is before I talked to the nutritionist, and he said, "Don't take any, salts or sugars."
You thought you were going to die? What, with bliss?
It was just, I just felt so ill, and my heart was pounding. Yesterday,
the cheeseburger made you feel ill. Okay.
Yeah, because it had I think it was because it had so much salt in it.
Well, the thing is, Michelle, we will keep you over the hour so we can go into this, but you need a person with the adrenal stress you've been under needs salt. So, we really have to be careful about in your anxious state, talking to too many people and getting too much advice. Right now you have to take care of yourself and be gentle about it, but not exaggerate anything, not take too much of anything, and just baby yourself. That's what I'm thinking. And, the Remag, yes, you can't get the laxative effect with it, or you'll be removing magnesium. So we'll talk to you about taking psyllium seed powder and looking at the B vitamins and realign. But yes, you're very, on edge still, and you've gone through a horrible situation here. It's just incredible. So you're holding all that, all that negativity in your body. So there's a lot for you to heal from and recover from, but that's entirely possible. But I wouldn't do a lot of dietary restriction right now because you're already restricted, you're already suffering. Do you see what I'm saying here? To be so restrictive, it's like you've already been through too much and you want to baby yourself a little bit. But we're at the top of the hour, so you just hang on, Michelle, okay?
Okay, you'll talk to me afterward?
Yes.
Thank you. Very grateful.
Thank you. Okay, Ginny.
Okay, everybody, we're going to take this quick break. And on the way out the door, we're going to say happy birthday to Deborah, our station owner here at Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Happy birthday, Deborah. We'll be right back, everybody.
Hour 2 of the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with host Ginny Sanders, right after this brief station break. also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com. That's drcarolyndean.com.
Did you know there are 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency? Magnesium deficiency is a public health crisis growing in scope and proportion. Dr. Carolyn Dean, author of The Magnesium Miracle, has identified over 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency, 100 factors that lead to magnesium deficiency, and 24 reasons why magnesium deficiency occurs. Order The Magnesium Miracle today at Amazon.com and learn how to remedy this pervasive condition.
Do you have questions about your health? Are you wondering about alternatives? Do you ever wish you could have 5 minutes with a doctor you can trust? Someone who is an internationally recognized authority in the field of natural medicine? Meet award-winning doctor, naturopath, and best-selling author of The Magnesium Miracle, Carolyn Dean, MD, ND. Hear a wealth of information designed to empower listeners and callers to discover how to improve health, vitality, and well-being through a variety of safe strategies and nutritional options. Dr. Carolyn Dean Live. Shows can be heard every Monday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern, with weekly live shows, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Natural health, vitality, and well-being. Yes, everyone wants it, but not everyone is sure how to achieve it. Dr. Carolyn Dean's Completement Formulas are more than just dietary supplements. They're whole foods and picometer minerals designed to complete your nutrition, not just supplement it. Experience the difference Dr. Dean's formulas make. Visit RNAreset.com to learn more. That's RNARESET.com.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. With more than 40 years at the forefront of holistic studies, Omega is known the world over as a trusted source for integrated approaches to personal growth and social change. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. Again, 877-944-2002.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Return now to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders. Phone lines are open during live broadcast.
All right, everybody, welcome back, hour 2. And I'm going to ask 347, you've got to unmute your phone again because I had to put you on mute during the break. There you go. All right, very good. Thank you, Carolyn. Go ahead, please.
Okay, Michelle. So you've given me, an overview. Of course, I don't have everything, but what you've gone through, you probably weren't drinking your water. As you said, you weren't eating properly. So are you getting enough hydration now? Are you drinking enough water?
I'm drinking a lot of water now.
Okay. And are you putting sea salt in it?
No, I'm not, because I'm scared that it's going to make me sick.
because of what the nutritionist said?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what I know that I tell everybody with the water, the way it's filtered these days, it doesn't really have any minerals in it, and the way to balance out
I'm
the
taking,
water.
what do you call it? I'm taking spring water.
Right. Well, it doesn't. I mean, if you look at the label, it's regardless. You'll have to look into maybe some of the blogs I've written about salt, especially sea salt. I'm not talking about sodium chloride off the table. When a
Okay.
nutritionist sees that blood pressure, they think, oh my gosh, it's all about the salt. No, it's about the tension. 80, the bottom number of 80 is actually normal. The
Mine was
160,
90, 95.
you said over 80. Okay, so 90 to 95. Well, look, I'm not going to argue with you about things. What I think you should probably do is call into our customer service to discuss this, to slowly develop a protocol, because you're going to, I don't have enough information to give you words, and everything I'm saying now, it's not jiving with what you've told me. So what I would be telling you is to hydrate with sea salt, take the Remag, but make sure you take psyllium seed powder to not get
Wait,
the
what is it called?
laxative effect.
Psyllium seed powder? What is that?
I'm going to get you to phone into customer service. We'll give them this information and they can discuss it with you, because, over the phone in just a few minutes, I'm not going to be able to give you a protocol, and I can't prescribe for you. So
Okay.
that's what we'll have to do this right, because you've
Okay.
given contradictory information. So it'll take time to discuss with you why that information is invalid, and it's not going to be helpful to you. So,
oh my God, I thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
yes, we got to do this properly, because you've been through too much. So Ginny, we will tell Michelle to email support@rnareset.com.
I think it's best if she does email actually Melody Rose at questions, QUESTX. So email questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com. Melody Rose will have questions.
Questions at the @signal.
Yep.
Questions at
DR.
Dr. Yep.
Carolyn, CAROLYN DEANLIVE.com. Questions at drcarolyndeanlive.com. Melody Rose is the person who answers those emails. She will have heard the show, and she can correspond directly and efficiently with Carolyn to help you through the questions that you have and the things that Carolyn thinks would be beneficial for you.
Oh my God, that's such a relief. I feel calmer already.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today was
Yeah.
my mother's funeral, and I just couldn't even go because I didn't think I was strong enough to actually attend with my
Mhm.
heart pounding.
Yeah.
No, it's terrible. Yes. Yeah.
She's
But
my best friend.
okay, so I'm sending Melody Rose the words that you sent me. I'll email her. She'll wait for your email, and then we'll start putting together a protocol for you. Or, probably better, Ginny, to get someone to be on the phone with Michelle.
Melody Rose can do that. They've got a whole system now for all that.
Perfect.
Yeah. she can
Okay,
do it.
Michelle. So in the meantime, just try to rest. Okay, say these words. The worst is over. Say these words.
Yes, the
And-
worst is over. They can't hurt her now. She's with God.
That's right. That's right. And we want to keep you strong and healthy. That's our goal now. Okay?
Yes, I've got 3 little children, and they were terribly hurt by losing their grandma.
Yeah. Terrible. Okay, my dear. So I'll leave you now. Just know that, later today, probably tomorrow, now that it's evening there, tomorrow we'll get to you and start things going. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much, and God bless.
God bless as well.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Michelle.
Bye.
Okay, very good. Very good. All right, excellent. Okay, very good. Okay. Let's take another call. Carolyn, you want to take another one?
Right. But it just reminds me of what hundreds of thousands of people went through this, through COVID. Their relatives were in the hospital catching COVID, dying without being able to have anyone with them. It's just incredible what's gone on. The inhumanity.
Yes, it is very inhumane and extremely disturbing. And that's why it's very important to have the community that we have. And what I say to people all the time is just to be able to even speak to a doctor over the phone and to be able to be supported by somebody who medically and intuitively and emotionally gets it, and then can respond with a supportive staff. It's just really critical. And also, I know that we have a lot of support from our listening community, all of our people here on YouTube with us, like Sally and Heather and Diana and eMusic and all the people and everybody. I mean, just everybody, us here, and they're all sending wonderful energy to you, Carolyn, because they know that they would want to be responded to with the same care and compassion that you have. And it's just like Diana said. She said, Dr. Dean is so awesome. She handles things so well. I love her strategy for helping all of the people. And Sally said her compassion and passion always comes through. She literally cares about everyone.
Oh.
And so, there are a lot of people who really and have good wishes for Michelle too. So energy does travel, and people, can connect with people in a positive way and support one another. And so I think that was very lovely, the way that you handled that, Carolyn. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I just, what I do, one of my quote gifts is to seeing the best in people, seeing what they can be. I don't see them as sick or depleted or weak or anything. I just see them as perfect, and I know that they can be supported in that perfection. And fortunately, these, what we offer in terms of the total biology, the formulas, the advice, the affirmations, everything is focused on the perfection that we are. And I also think of the Bible message where Jesus, I think, was healing someone and said to the observers, this you can do and more. So we can do much more than we think we can. Somehow medicine has made us into little men and little women.
Yeah.
And we have just bought that hook, line, and sinker.
Yep.
And, look at what Michelle went through. She went into these doctors thinking that they would help her mother, wanted to use ivermectin, vitamins. They wouldn't do what she wanted for her own mother to save her mother's life. So where is the Hippocratic Oath? Where are these doctors that they're not allowing people choice? It is criminal. We need the Nuremberg trials. We have, as a profession, medicine has completely lost it. They have no more cachet in this world. People don't trust them. anyway, yeah, I feel really bad for what Michelle went through. Okay, so what do we do now?
Mm.
How
Well,
do we follow that up?
well, we're
Can't.
going to continue to spread the good news, and the worst is over for Michelle because she's got a good resource now. She's got Melody Rose. She's got good support and good energy from the team here on YouTube, our customer team, and she's going to do much better, and she'll recover. She will. And so we are going to offer that same opportunity to the next caller, our area code 251 caller. Are you there with us tonight?
Yes. Can you hear me?
We
Yes,
can.
go ahead.
Hi. I'm calling for my dad. He is very weak. He says he's got good color. He's 82 years old. He's got good color. He says he's in his body. He feels good, but he is so weak. He can't lift himself up. I have to hand feed him. I have to, my husband has to lift him up to take him to the bathroom. He can't do, he's like a baby. He's very limp. And we've been taking your supplements. He's been taking the Recalcia, the Remag, the manganese, and the Pico Potassium. He's been taking those for probably almost 2-3 months, and there's still no change. And I don't know what we're doing wrong.
Right.
Like I said, he's just,
right.
yeah.
And we don't have a manganese. Maybe you need the Remite, and I don't know why he would need Recalcia. So
Okay.
I think
Okay.
probably the best thing, again, it's like we said with Michelle, very complicated, a lot going on. It's not something for over the phone, and that's why we do have our customer service. So what's your name? Your first name?
It's Daniela.
Daniela.
I emailed, yes, ma'am. I emailed over a week ago, and I haven't received the response. So then I emailed again during the show. Of course, there's probably not enough time to answer that one. So I didn't know if they got it or not. Also, his hands and feet are swollen. He's been gradually going down. Like a year ago, he was able to walk, but you could tell he slowed down.
Yeah.
So he was walking with the cane.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, with
there,
hands and feet swollen, does he have a heart condition?
no, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
No. Now he has been diagnosed to have diabetes, to be diabetic, but I don't know if that has anything to do with that. He also urinates a lot at night, like 7-8 times, like once an hour or so. And I know that's not normal, so I don't know if he's urinating all these, supplements that he's getting, and that's why his body's not.
Right, right. Has he had a prostate check?
No, ma'am. He went to the doctor. Well, since October, it was like twice, and they did, the lab work and all that. And they said everything looks fine. Of course, he didn't do the prostate. No, he hasn't done that.
All right, because if the prostate is enlarged, then it's going to the fluid. You'll urinate small amounts and a lot because of the irritation, but then you'll hold a lot of water in the body, which can be the swelling. So he really has to get checked out. It's not there's and even the heart, just to make sure that the heart is pumping properly, because otherwise you can get swelling. So it's not something that we can't, over the phone, we can't say, well, take this supplement or that. If you've got that the urination and the swelling, then you have to check and make sure the prostate isn't blocking off the the tube from the kidneys to the bladder and out, and then through the penis. So there's a lot there that has to be checked before you can just say the supplements should take care of it. It's an anatomical thing that you have to get checked out. Okay, Daniela?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He had that hair sample test done a while
Mm-hmm.
back,
Mm-hmm.
and he got the results, and he's taking copper. It was we had Dr. Mandy had a conference with him, but she's been so busy she hasn't gotten back to us. So I didn't know. I know she recommended some of your supplements.
That's good, but you hear what I'm saying?
Okay.
If
Yes,
his
ma'am.
prostate is twice the size that it should be, that's what we have to look at, not at the result of it. The result of it is the swelling and him just feeling, like a limp rag. So if it's an enlarged prostate, they can do something about that and relieve his symptoms. That's what we got to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. One more question. What about his when his limpness, the way he feels weak like that? Would that have something to do with something going on with prostate?
It can, in the sense that you see the swelling in his hands and his feet, but if you had his weight, from what you're saying, he's probably gained, 10, 15, even 20 pounds of water in his body that's just sort of clogging up his whole body. And that will cause a weakness and limpness. Are are there bags under his eyes?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Now also, I'm sorry, when he tears up, like when he yawns, you know how your eyes tear up. He says he gets a burning sensation.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is?
I can't say. It can be toxins. It could be yeast overgrowth. It could be all those things. But everything that's happening, if it's coming from an enlarged prostate, then that's what we got to do. Take care of.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
okay. So he's got to probably get that checked, and then so the weakness probably has something to do with everything being clogged up, maybe.
Right. Yeah. When you have fluid in your joints and whatnot, you can't see all the fluid, but it's just causing everything to be, like the word you said, clogged up. Okay. So will you do that then? I know it's really difficult now in terms of taking people to hospital or getting an appointment.
Yeah, I know he kind of, I hope he's going to want to. I know he's kind of, because like you said, with everything going, and it's kind of rough taking him anywhere, being that he's so limp. We'd have to, he don't even
Does
get
anybody, do they have doctors that come to the house? There are house call services that I've heard of. You could look into that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to have to leave it at that, Daniela. I mean, I can't do
yes,
any.
ma'am. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he should get his prostate checked.
Yeah. That's the first thing.
Okay. And then go from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time.
Okay. Thanks, Daniela. Yeah. I'm sure we can do more. Yeah.
Yeah,
bye-bye
okay.
now. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, very good. Yes, because there are certain things that, like you said, Carolyn, you just can't pour more supplements on it. You've really got to have a physical exam and see if there is a structure or function issue that has to be attended to at a different level.
Right. Exactly. Well said.
Yeah, very good. All righty, let's press on with more phone calls. Again, if you're on the phone tonight and you'd like to talk with Dr. Dean, 646-558-8657, and then the ID number 8836953587. And then you've got to hit *9 on the keypad, *9. We'll raise your hand and let me know you have a question or comment, and then I will put you on the phone with Dr. Dean. So I just call area code 434, come online, 315-512 and 276 waiting. So let's go to area code 276, and then we have 3 phone calls behind that. Okay, Carolyn?
Yes.
All right, very good. So area code 276, if you could hit the blue button or *6 on your phone. We'll put you on the line with Dr. Dean. Very good. Welcome to the call. To am I speaking?
I'm Susanna Miller.
Hey, Susanna, go
Hi,
ahead.
Dr. Dean.
Hi, Susanna.
Hey, I just wanted to, first I had a testimony to give.
Mm-hmm.
I talked with Jackie and she said you love testimonies. I'm a new practitioner. 3 weeks ago, I had no clients. We were introduced to your stuff through our own health problems, through a clinic that had been helping us out. So then I ordered the books and I read and I'm impressed and I start sharing. And then I have friends who want protocols written up. And then, I become a practitioner without really trying. So I'm very, very new.
Yes.
But
It sounds like you have a passion for what you're doing, though.
I love it. I've always wanted to be a practitioner, but then, I thought I'd wait on God's timing, but he just kind of threw it in my lap. So I guess he was ready. So I'm trying to, do what I can. I'm really reading a lot and I'm trying to gobble it all up, but with a busy schedule and, everything's new. So I'm just trying to feel my way through this, and Jackie has been helping me quite a bit.
Yes, that's wonderful. Yeah. Go ahead, hon.
The testimony I had was my cousin was wanting to use the supplements because she has Lyme's disease, and she was wanting to see if she could get relief from it by trying the supplements. And so she had a 1-year-old daughter that was teething and was running a fever to the point where she had to do something. So she got out the Tylenol bottle and looked at it, and then she looked at her baby again, and she was trying to make a decision what's the best for my baby. Mm-hmm. She hated to give that to her baby, but she thought she should. But then she remembered she thought she was teething, but she is now not sure if she was running a fever because of teething or because of having a virus, because she had a virus herself. So, but anyway, she gets the Remag out and puts 2 drops in a little bit of water and sprays it all over her baby. And she gives her baby some liquid herbal calcium. I don't think that she would have needed to do that to get the same results, but she said her fever left. Aww. And then she said that she told me at first that it left and never came back, but then I talked with her today and she said that yes, it did come back, but every time she sprayed that magnesium on her, the fever left. So she got the fever under control naturally, and she was impressed. Yeah.
Right. Wow. I mean, I haven't used it for fever like that, but that's okay. So, she was inspired or God told her to do it, right? I mean, she got the message, right?
Or what happened, yes. Or what happened, she thought she was teething when she gave it to her. Excuse me. And she said that she remembered that I told her that your body cannot use calcium if you do not have magnesium. So she remembered that someone told her, and I don't know how true this is, but someone had told her earlier that if a baby has a fever when it teeths, they're low in calcium because there's a tooth forming and it takes calcium to form teeth. And so she had previously given her baby calcium and it had not helped. So she thought, I'll give my baby calcium and magnesium. So when she did that, the fever left.
Yeah,
so.
I see. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
And who knows what exactly is happening, because magnesium regulates temperature, it's anti-inflammatory, it does, it supports the immune system. So it could be doing, many, many things, but that's wonderful. We want all kids to be sprayed with Remag. That'd be awesome.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well,
And then
let me say this, Susanna, did you hear
Yes.
earlier, we have a new formula for a hand purifier, hand and surface purifier, and it's got
the Flora
Remag.
Refresh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Remag, Pico Silver, and Pico Zinc, and aloe, and hibiscus and lemon. So that would be something that would be very safe to spray around children for, for any kind of symptoms, actually. But you go ahead, hon. What question? Yeah.
I had several more questions. So I think I was having some trouble, focusing and getting everything. So I think you mentioned something about sulfur tonight on conference call.
Yeah.
And my cousin that I'm helping really likes sulfur. She says it helps her hair and everything. But I'm not familiar with sulfur, like as a mineral, like how to supplement it. Can you use too much, or how should I tell her to continue using it as she is, or how should I regulate sulfur intake?
Yeah, it's a good question. They do have it as a supplement. I've never felt the need to use it. And because I know sulfur is important, the sulfur vegetables like the broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, eggs have a lot of sulfur too. And the sulfur is important in the liver. There are detoxification pathways that need sulfur in order to work. So what I did to create the sulfur in one of our formulas was use 2 sulfur amino acids, taurine and methionine, in our Flora, our Realign product that has the B vitamin.
Okay, I thought that maybe I missed it, that you said it wasn't a product. So I have her on Realign, so I should be good then, and she wouldn't need to use the others.
That should be good. And, Susanna, if you open a Realign capsule and sniff it, it smells like sulfur. It's very strong.
Okay.
If you taste it. Yeah. So you're getting it naturally and in an amount that's not overwhelming. I think when people take sulfur, straight sulfur, it's probably too much. And what we do is just give the body these nutrients in small enough amounts, and the body can use it if it wants, and if it doesn't want it, it doesn't use it.
Okay, that makes sense. And then the other question I had, I'm a little bit confused on your Pico Zinc. Because I'm kind of, talking with several people of your practice and everything, and the reading. So I'm kind of going back and forth between. So I kind of get the drift that Pico Zinc is mostly used to fight viral overload, but maybe occasionally it is used, for a mild support or, supplement, whatever. So when do I know if I need to use that in a daily diet or daily supplement for at least a little bit? Like, for example, I've read that OCD can be caused by, was it the copper or the zinc? Was that?
Imbalance.
Yes. So I do know quite a few people who have OCD problems, and I know that causes stress in the body because it causes, anxiety goes with that. And my dad cannot smell or taste very well since he had COVID. So I'm just kind of, wondering, when do I use zinc?
Well, before COVID and all, what I did for zinc was I have it in Remite, the multiple mineral. And that seemed to be enough. And I have copper in there too, the bioavailable copper, in a low enough amount that it's not going to interfere with zinc. So what I did with the Pico Zinc, with COVID, because we've heard that hydroxychloroquine and zinc are very important to attack the virus in the cell. And the hydroxychloroquine part is used to open the cells up to allow the zinc to enter. But what I have with the pico zinc is the picometer size ion of zinc that gets right into the cells and does not need the hydroxychloroquine. So it becomes something that is, itself the best thing to support the immune system against the virus. And so, what I started to say to people, well, maybe we need another, 10 milligrams of zinc a day just around this whole virus business. And if people get sick, then you double that. And that seems to be good. The thing with zinc too, it's important for the prostate. It's like iodine is important for the thyroid, zinc is important for the prostate. So men need that. And it's for wound healing. There's so many things that are being reported, people taking the zinc.
Okay, so are you saying, so if I would get a patient with like a lot of wounds, maybe with an accident or had a little, scraper or whatever, zinc would be a good supporter to heal and stuff like that, but was not necessarily considered a daily supplement before COVID hit.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, you're right on target there. Very good.
Okay. So, and then the other question I had, having asked that, I do have someone, my cousin was telling me of her friend who can't have babies because her husband's sperm shapes are wrong shape to, connect to the egg or whatever to have a child. So my question was just, I read that zinc helps with the, I don't know, with the sperm read something like that. So if I do get them if I do have the privilege to help them, get them healthy with the remite and all that stuff, do I consider adding zinc to that, for that specific person as a daily supplement in that situation along with the magnesium and stuff, or no?
I would. I definitely would. I would consider it, kind of, you could say the word medicinal. There's a problem that requires more zinc, so we have the pico zinc that would take care of the problem, basically.
Okay. And I'm finding that there's so many books out there on women's health, but there's almost no books on men's health. So I'm kind of looking for books. And so I have never read on how sperms are created or, made. I know girl babies are born with all their, eggs or whatever you call them in their ovaries. But I kind of gathered a little bit that men are not born with all their sperms. So,
they make them, right.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
So can we help get them the right shape so they can become pregnant?
Well, that's where probably the pico silver is going to help, because the pico silver is going to help stem cell production in the bone marrow. And then the new stem cells, they can be for the sperm. So we could be making new stem cells, and because the body's prime directive is to reproduce, then they will go to the sperm, into the testicles and create healthier sperm. But what's so funny, Susanna, is I'm writing a book right this minute on men's health.
Yay! Good.
So I will definitely put in the production of sperm, how sperm occurs, because that's a great question. I'll put that in the book, and I'll quote you. Well, maybe I'll leave your name out, but I'll put that in the book.
Okay, because I just did. My friend was like, she's not going to recommend them before she tried it because she wants to know if it works for her. But she's also very cautious because she knows the pain of not having children herself, although she does have one now. And she was just like, if I give them false hope, then I'll, feel so bad about it. But you're saying that the silver actually helps with the cell health as well, right?
Correct.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, one of my books about silver, my free ebooks that you can get them from Paul Keim.
Yes.
It's a Pico Silver book, and one of the studies is about forming new stem cells in the bone marrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, that gives me something to build off. So I'll probably put him, if I get them as a couple to help, I'll probably put him on zinc and then put them on the basic minerals and vitamins and go from there, along with the silver.
Yeah, very
good. That answers my question then, and I think I'll probably be trying to be a regular listener on Monday nights because I have many questions and I'm, just feeling my way through. So I think that's it for tonight, though.
Oh, well, that's great, though. You've asked the questions that I'm sure everybody just has learned from your questions and my answers. So it's perfect.
Good.
Yeah, I love answering questions. Jackie can, obviously, you and Jackie have been talking, and you sound so bright and energetic. I'm happy to help. I think it's awesome what you're doing.
I've not always been this way. I've had Lyme's disease. I was so sick. I was on the recliner for a whole month without working. So
oh my gosh.
it has improved. That's why people are coming to me because they know how sick I was, and now they see me today and they say, "I want what you have." So that's how I became a practitioner.
Of course. Well, that's wonderful. Well, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Suzanne, and God bless.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, God bless you too.
Okay, bye-bye now. Take
Bye.
care. Yay.
Boy, that is some enthusiasm for you. I love her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be hearing more from her. All right, let's go to area code 434. Area code 434, if you could hit *6 and unmute your phone. There you go. Welcome to the call. Could you give us your name and then add your question or comment?
Hi, thank you. This is Sherry Bell. My question is about glaucoma and if there are any of the products in the Reset group that would help that. I've been on one drop once a day in one eye, and I would like to not be using the prescription. I did hear that castor oil could help, but I don't know about that, so I just wondered about your products.
Right. It's so hard to answer that question because it is so medical, and I don't want to say something's going to do something when I don't know. I mean, I don't know your pressure in your eye or what's going on.
It's not bad. I've had one application of a laser surgery on both eyes, and it stayed for several years, and then it started going up, and that's when she wanted to give me the drops. So it has down with using the drops, but I'd like an alternative to that.
Right. You know what I'm thinking, and I'm sorry I missed your first name.
Sherry.
Sherry. How old are you, Sherry?
73.
And when were you first diagnosed with glaucoma?
Maybe as much as 5 years ago.
What was happening around that time? Yeah, I'll just say it that way. What was happening around that time?
I guess I can't think of anything right at that time. Some years before that, there was some emotional upset. yeah, I mean, back in 2004, my son died, and then in 2006, my husband and I had some difficulty, and a therapist made it worse for a good while. But, I mean, that was quite a bit before that, but I can't do anything.
Because what I'm thinking about is to see if what you think about doing some total biology counseling on what your body doesn't want you to see, or what you're not seeing. You know, that just the whole conflict basis of disease can be that your body is trying to protect you from something by covering your eyes with a film. Does that make any sense?
Yes, I mean, that makes sense. I just can't think back to that time period about what would have been causing that.
Right. Okay, let me read some of the total biology about glaucoma. And I'm just going to read this. I don't know what it says, but often the doctor will give a story. And he said, here's a conflict for glaucoma. A woman asked for the appointment for glaucoma. What came to the doctor's mind is he looked at a glass of water. If I have more liquid in the eye, I see bigger in my vision. So that means that I want to get into things more quickly. I'm almost there, but it's necessary to magnify, to get closer to something, to make it happen faster. If you want to be somewhere ahead of your time and your conflict is to be there, the biological brain can't physically make you be there, but the brain can make you feel that where you want to be, or that's where you want to be, or what you want is closer to you. You have pressure in the eye and you are where you want to be. I don't know if any. So what the conflict basis of disease means is the body will develop symptoms to solve a problem. And so what they're saying here is there's something you want to magnify, you want to get a better picture of, you want to be closer to it, to see what's going on. And then, you know, the body creates this extra liquid in the eye to solve that conflict. Another story, a mother who's always late in the morning and the daughter wants to get going and is fearful of being late for school. She walks to school with her friend. Sometimes her mother's on the phone in the morning and doesn't prepare her daughter. The girl crossing the street, the bell rang, she failed to be there on time. This is her program. Later, her mother started to work. The daughter's age 21, something about being late for dinner, and it's created glaucoma. I mean, that's just too obscure, so I'm not even going to try to decipher that. But what I would say is it strikes me that the laser helped, and now it's back, but it's mild. It's not a severe disease, so it's the body trying to tell you something. And I would wonder about having a consult with our Dr. Holt, Dr. David Holt, who's our total biology consultant. And I think he still has the first, 15, 30 minutes, he'll do for free a complimentary consultation to see if the two of you are compatible, and then see about having an appointment or several appointments to get to the bottom of the potential conflict.
Okay, that sounds great idea.
Yeah, oh, good. So he's at turnpointhealth.com.
Turnpoint?
correct.
Okay.
TURNPOINT health.com. Let me just make sure it goes there. And yeah, so many of our customers and staff have talked with him. I know him personally, Dr. Holt. Yeah. And as for what to do for your glaucoma, personally, what I'd be doing is I put a couple of drops of Pico Silver in each eye, in my eyes every day. I would put 1 or 2 drops of RNA, the RNA reset drops in an eye cup of saline without preservatives. And I'd rinse the eyes, but I would only do that once or twice a week. When I have done that every day, it started to stir up, all kinds of toxins were coming out my eyes. And yeah, I mean, that may be helpful for some people, but I thought they were coming from all kinds of different places, and it was itching and irritating. So I would just do it twice a week, 2 drops in an eye cup, like half filled with saline, and you rinse your eyes, a few times and dab it off with paper toweling. So Pico Silver RNA drops. And then, Ginny, can you think of anything else our customers have told us about using for their eyes?
Well, I just know that the omegas are very important for your eyes. Your DHA and your EPA actually work in your retinal pathways to translate light into information. And so if you're not letting the light in, you just also may be very low with omegas. So since you listen to the radio show, you can request to get a test kit and become part of our grassroots health testing, Sherry. And then, have you done that yet?
No.
They will test your omegas specifically. And if your levels aren't high enough, I would start pounding the omegas. Do you eat fish?
Yes, we eat salmon at least once a week.
Okay, that's probably not enough then. So you probably want to do the omega-3 algae A&E and boost your omega content for your eyes, and definitely do that test and see where your current levels are.
Okay, and how do I access the test?
You you can email Melody Rose at questions, questions at drcarolyndeanlive.com. It's in all of our emails, how to, email the radio show, email the show, and just let Melody Rose know that Ginny said you should get a testing kit for your omegas, and she'll organize it for you.
Okay, Ginny, your mic is clicking. Click, 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 click.
Sorry.
Click, click. Sherry, okay, awesome. Yeah, I just love sending people to Dr. Holt. So keep us posted, okay?
I will. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Okay, we've got 2 more calls, Carolyn. Let's see if we can get them in. We've only got 5 minutes. Rachel's on the edge of her seat now, trying to figure out if we can make it. Okay, so let's get to area code 315. 315, you're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you can hit *6 and come on in. All right, lay it out there for us. Go ahead.
Hey, it's Nathan. Hi, Carolyn and Jenny. Had a call, wasn't sure what to tell the lady. If I can pronounce it right, cardiomyopathy. Do I have that right?
Cardiomyopathy. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Her top part of the blood pressure is too low. It almost comes together, the top and the bottom.
Oh.
So being usually Remag will help bring the blood pressure down. I wanted to be careful about that.
Right.
I did then, being she was from the same group as Paul Keim, I said, look, she really needs to get your book and read it, which she's ordering that tomorrow, and I told her Paul will probably be able to help her better, being it's not something that I had experienced myself. But her doctor wants to put a pacemaker in her once she's 60, but she's 57 now. She had ended up in the hospital once, and they said, oh, your blood pressure's high. She's like, no, it's my heart's beating fast. That's why it's high. But doctor's orders, they made her take a high blood pressure pill. She went and broke it in quarters and hid the rest. And she almost died from it because her blood pressure came down that far.
Right.
Yeah, so she won't go back, even though her blood pressure or heart rate goes over 200 at times. She'll lay down, do the ice pack, stuff.
Well, I would think cardiomyopathy, let me just say, because I'm going to be fast because we only have a few minutes. I apologize, but
sure.
It's a disease of the heart muscle that makes it harder for your heart to pump blood to the rest of your body. So it's trying to pump it out, but it only pushes out like a half of what it should. And then all of a sudden, the blood comes back. So that's why, the top and bottom blood pressure measurements are close. So I would lobby to get that pacemaker in there as soon as possible.
Okay. All right. Very good. Hey, go ahead and let the next caller in. You answer my question.
Well, yeah. So with the pacemaker, then we can start using the magnesium, and nothing's going to fall apart. And then we can heal the muscles of the heart with Remag and Pico Silver.
Okay, I told her to contact Paul. You might have to want to have a word that tell him this lady's going to be writing him, and he should get it within a few days, because if she is in that position that she should have that pacemaker, because right now she is not following the doctor. She's not. Her heart's going over 200, and they don't know how high over 2. Her reader only goes to 200, and she's not going in on that. One of these times, it's going to kill her. That's pretty much what
it's got to go fast to pump out half that blood to get somewhere, like her brain. Okay, then Jackie's probably listening, and Jackie will get in touch with Paul. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yep. You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Wow. Okay, last caller.
Okay, area code 512. We've got 1 minute. 1 minute, area code 512. Can we get it done? Or would you like to call in next week? Go ahead.
Hi, this is Peg, and I'm from Austin, and I take many supplements, and I'm having problems with my bone density. And I was wondering if it could possibly be because my calcium and magnesium are out of balance. And I don't know how much to take or where to start with this.
Right. Okay. When you say you're taking many supplements, are they all kinds of different supplements, or are they our formulas?
Well, you know what? I just want to get into your formula because I've heard wonderful things about it from my friends and family. So, they're not yours, unfortunately.
No
so
problem.
I'm hoping to take yours and then they will work.
Right. Okay. So what we get you to do, Peg, to start off is read my book on what would be the best book, Jenny? The Remag? Right. There's a free ebook at drcarolyndeanlive.com that's just called Remag. That's our magnesium, because magnesium is more important than calcium for the bones. So you can
I take like
ladies, I'm so sorry, but we've got a break.
But you have to read the book first, and it'll answer 3/4 of your questions, and then the rest will answer either next week, or you'll just get in touch with support at rnareset.com and ask your questions. Not to worry.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you very much, Carolyn.
Okay,
thank you, everybody.
welcome.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Rachel. Happy birthday, Deborah. Thank you,
listening to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show. For questions about today's broadcast, email Dr. Dean at questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com. That's questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe.